Committee to order. Would you take the roll, please?
Good morning. Joe Borodka,
Here.
Robert Kopish,
Here.
Larry Palachuk is excused, Patricia Stephen,
Here.
and Dennis Warko.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. So the first item of business is public comment. I don't see anybody here in the room. Is there anybody that wishes to speak other than Shirley?
No.
Nope. Okay. Is there anybody online? If there is, please star 6 and identify yourself for public comment. Nobody online? Okay, then we'll move on. We got the minutes from our June 5th meeting. What's your pleasure?
Had to make a motion to approve.
We got a motion. Is there a second? A second. Any discussion on the minutes? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Minutes are approved. Coroner report. We have no coroner. Do we have anything that he handed in or anything?
No, we do not. He is
Okay.
excused.
You know, I know at the last meeting, he was talking about having these meetings early in the month and it's difficult for him to get his stuff together. Should we consider anything as far as changing the date?
No, because he can always give you like we didn't have a meeting last month and he would have that report. A lot of times it just, his report is, we had this many autopsies. This,
Well, I know it's not
Yeah.
a very big report, so
If anything, you could probably move him to more of a quarterly report.
maybe that would work better.
We don't have a real heavy agenda as it is, but
Do you see him?
well, yeah, he comes in once a month, twice a
Would
month.
the
to
committee have a
drop off.
problem with that? Like do a quarterly? Why don't we go to that? And then he wouldn't have to have the second quarter report in July. He could do it in August.
Yeah. We could.
Oh, why don't we do that? That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. District Attorney?
Quarterly report would be in September.
Well, if it's through the second quarter, instead of having it in July, you probably do it in August, depending when we have our
Yeah.
meeting.
And if we skip meetings, it'll just be whatever the previous quarter was.
Right, right. Okay, that sounds like a good. Okay, District Attorney, what's the report, Nick?
We do not have a local district attorney. The state has put a special prosecutor in place. He is out of the Green Bay area. He's with us 3 days a week on average, maybe 4. The biggest issue with that is we are responsible for housing costs while he's here, along with some other little costs. So it does begin to add up because that's not a budgeted. You know, when we have a local DA, you're not paying for their housing and you're not paying for their wages. You're not paying for this individual's wages either, but there is an additional cost to keep business going up there. And that's that housing cost.
Okay,
There's no replacement in sight or appointment by the governor because we haven't seen any applications yet, or they haven't. We don't get to see those.
so this could go on for a while.
Yes.
Okay. We move on. Item 5 is Clerk of Courts.
Nothing major up there. I talked to Lisa yesterday. The judge was out of town for a couple weeks, but they have a lot of traveling judges, so that doesn't slow down their workload very much. The big issue we're facing, well, expense may be facing, is we have a 3-day trial at the end of August. I'm getting the head shake. It's end of August that would need an interpreter, and the language that needs to be interpreted. There's only 2 certified interpreters in the United States. One's out of Hawaii and one's out of Tennessee. So you pay for them to be here for that time. The problem with that is you need 2. So for every trial that's greater than 2 hours or multiple day, they have to trade off every 2 hours in their interpretation. So we actually need both of the only 2 people in the United States to be here for that. There has been some movement on the case. I don't know. We're not privy to that kind of stuff, but that this potentially won't go to trial, but we don't know at this time. But in the meantime, that would be a significant expense because it's the hourly rate is very high, and then you pay for all expenses that are, car, flights,
Everything
hotels.
having to do with them being here. Yeah.
Yeah, and we don't schedule it either. So the judge's office says blah 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 interpreter, we need you here. The interpreter makes all their own arrangement. So we don't go, oh, you have to stay at the Super 8, you have to use the economy. There's bounds, but they do everything and then hand you a bill and say, here's my
Wow.
interpreter cost. So we're not unique in this. This is a statewide, nationwide problem as interpreters. But we don't normally have that large of a cost. We have interpretive services. We probably spend $5,000 a year, but this would be above and beyond that.
Wow.
So
Okay.
unexpected costs.
Huh?
I said unexpected costs. The positive with, well, yeah, it's not positive, but state budget, they did allocate $10 million additional dollars to the clerk of courts because of issues like this. It'll go on to everybody's base wage or base reimbursements. So we're expecting about a 33% increase because they originally did $20 million. The state gave $10 million this year, $10 million next year. So a total of 50% increase over 2 years. So we're expecting a 33% increase in what we receive from the state, which is nowhere near covering the cost of running
Right.
the court system, but happy to have additional
Something.
funding.
Yeah.
I think the report that went to the state was we needed $92 million to cover all the costs. That would be the increase that we asked for as counties. So we got 10 million.
So the interpreter it's a language issue, right?
Yep.
And what is this, odd languages that we're dealing with, or what?
It's just a unique,
Huh?
it's
Unique.
hard to get certified. So like you can have a lot of Spanish and, people grew up learning Spanish, but when you get a Mandarin or a Portuguese, I don't remember what she said the
Yeah,
language
some
was,
of the
but it's
difficult
it's different.
and different dialects in different countries and all that
Yep.
stuff. Okay.
Yeah, not all Spanish is the same. There's
Not all English is the
Multiple-
same.
flex, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Sheriff, you're on. Appreciate your report. Nice to have you here.
Okay, so going down the agenda, as far as staffing update, Logan is the new hire for the sheriff's office for deputy. He's in phase 2 of the field training. He seems to be doing well. We did have interview for part-time for jail communications. So we're slowly seeing like one application every, I don't know, Nick, every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks. So like we have another applicant that just recently applied. And they will do interviews next week. I think they'll try to set up an interview. So we're trying to see if we can take on different ideas of hiring and recruitment through our process. It takes some time. The FMLA, I have 2 deputies on FMLA. I have, obviously you remember Drew has been deployed. So we're still a number of deputies short on roles. So if you do see an uptick in overtime, you'll see that through the voucher system. And if there's an incident, which again, every so often we'll have something where the investigators are involved in, whether it's a drug transaction or recently we had a search warrant and we had DCI up here. So we had a number of incidences, whether in Ogama or in Park Falls. So that you'll see some of the staffing as far as any issues there. Animal control or humane officer, just kind of giving you a little touch of January 1st of 25 through August 7th of 25. The humane officer handled 263 calls. These are law incidences. And again, those are material that is generating reports for whether district attorney, DHHS, Megan at times, Corporation Counsel, and then also dealing with surrenders. This is of what the animal control is doing is 15% of total instances. This morning we were at law instance of 1,789. She handled 263, which is 15% of the total. So Mindy is extremely busy with animal calls. Of that, to kind of break it down for you, animals were 121. There were 30 animal bites so far in this calendar year. Total 21 animal welfare calls, 10 nuisance animal calls, and then we did have one cat bite. And then we had 80 lost and found animals. So of the 263, that's the breakdown. Canines, well, one of our canines is down because of FMLA. Craig will be back on duty shortly. Joe was on vacation, so they've been dealing with, we're dealing with that with the summertime vacation. There is the canine broad feed coming up here in August. And then,
A question on that. I think I saw something in my email. Is that in conjunction with the fair?
No, it just happened to be the same day.
Oh, okay. So
in the
it's-
past,
it's-
it's been a,
It's out here.
yes.
Okay, all
Yes.
right.
yeah, in the past, the canine lunch or not, yeah, luncheon was usually earlier in August. We had some FMLAs and things that we went around. So this year it's just happened to be the same day.
It's that
as the
same day.
fair.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Rec officer, as I told you before, I've had to use Joel on the road a lot more. So as far as recreation, I had to put him back towards road patrol, filling in both days and nights on that rotation. So we've seen limited activity with rec. But if there is something that, because he does have a certain set skill with UTVs, ATVs, boating and stuff, he'll be utilized, but then he'll try to get reimbursement for that as needed. Equipment update, I was still working on the radio project, the portables, the body cameras, things of that nature through with Nick and Bug Tussle and everything else. So you guys have been getting updated, I believe, every time there's some update that does come through. The problem is that if we do lose a portable, which or not lose one, but one breaks, we'd have to go out and buy one. So we have been fortunate on that. With that, with all this greater and newer technology, again, Taser, we do have the Taser 2 right now. I told you they stopped making it. Seth, the lieutenant, who's the instructor with Chris Lind and the jail, we are able to still get parts and pieces for the X2, hopefully through 2029. So the idea would be to, at some point, I was talking with Carrie, and we were looking at Taser 10 to update our equipment. But Taser 10, the Taser itself is considered a firearm because it does have gunpowder in it. So it does, there is 10 probes. You have to shoot one probe and then shoot another probe. So it is similar to a firearm, but it is for the conductivity of electricity on the individual. So we're going to try to keep moving along with Taser 2 right now. Taser 10 they're extremely expensive. There's a program, you can go for a 5-year program, but they're talking over $100,000. So we're trying to get through what we can with what we have until if we finally just have breakdowns. Everything is still working, so we're going to stay with Taser 2 for right now. As far as any other information, to give you an idea of what the dispatch is dealing with, there was, I told you about law instances. When I printed out the report this morning, we had 1789. I got another call. So it's, as of today, this morning was 1,790 law incidences. Those are things that go to the district attorney's office and other agencies. Simple calls that when someone calls about maybe a dead deer laying in the road, these are more like CAD calls. We had 5,388 of those so far year to date. Dispatch has handled 50,949 phone calls so far this year, taking up 79,169 minutes. So that's just dispatch handling calls, and that's administrative lines and 911 calls.
Wow. It's a lot of volume.
It is.
Yeah.
So to give you an understanding of what PSAP or our 911 center, we generally, again, have one individual in there only. If there is in a moment, they need someone to get on the internal radio and they call for help and someone comes in and works on that. That's why if you see Lieutenant Peterson and you see in the jail side of the budget, it looks over, which it is over. We got that grant and we're waiting for EZNet to be finished and installed, and that should then allow us to then get the reimbursements. So that'll occur over the next couple months. So, because I saw that in the budget and I was like, wow, impressive. So the money will hopefully come in and squash that. And then again, the jail is full. The other day, we did get the jail inspection report. I can send it to the chair at some point. I think you and Larry were the ones that used to receive them. But the jail is full. We are housing out of county. Currently, I believe we're sitting at about 8 or 7 down in Taylor right now. And we're about 24, 25 here. So I do have one on Bracelet. We do have one, I think, that did a Huber transfer. So that gives you an idea. The jail is full. And then the other night we had like 3 bookings. So it's feast or famine. It can come in and you can get one out of Park Falls, or you get one out of Phillips or State Patrol, and then you get 2 or 3 out of the county. That can happen all in one day. So any questions, comments, any concerns?
Yeah, a couple of questions. If I can go back on some of that equipment stuff. I was looking at the financial reports and you mentioned that grant, that PSAP was $133,000 roughly.
I think so. It
Yeah.
would be on the jail
It shows
side.
up as an expenditure, but we apparently have money coming.
It's
for
an
that?
expenditure. We have to spend it to get it.
That's what I figured.
Yeah.
So now we spent it, we apply and we get the
Yep.
money back.
Yeah,
Okay.
we follow the parameters of the grant.
And then there's a line item contract Board of Prisoners. Is that where we're paying out of?
Taylor.
That's
County.
Taylor County?
You know, historically, if you remember when you were first on the board, Bob, it was like $260,000 housing.
Oh, it was a lot.
It was.
Yeah.
We are starting to see obviously an uptick now because we brought it down to 17,000. Now we're seeing it going up again.
Well, when we did the jail study, when we were doing that, the projection from the engineers is, but by now we'd be spending $1 million out of county placements, you know, and that's why we were gonna build a jail, so.
Yeah. But I do, and that's why if you look at, and I gave Nick some ideas in the future, you know, dealing with 28, 29, 30, if you're sustaining 10 to 20 people out of county, you're spending a lot of money if that's what the board wants. But again, those are things you guys in the future have to make decisions on.
Yeah, the price of jails has gone up dramatically. If you look at what these counties
from-
are spending on jails,
Yeah, from 99 when you were in 2000, yeah, extremely.
extremely, yeah. And then you got a line item in your sheriff's budget with contract professional services, 167,000 or so has been spent, but Gary gave me a copy, and a lot of this is the Motorola stuff. There's over $100,000 in Motorola stuff. So that's what you were talking about before?
Yes,
Yeah,
we're
okay.
dealing with, and again, we're trying to take communications, put it on the corrections side. So we're going to have to, at some point, working with Carrie, put the right monies and the right revenues where they belong, both splitting the sheriff and jail that you guys did. I think you split the budgets in 2010.
Yeah,
So,
okay. All right.
With a lot of those contracted services too, and TJ's ripping his hair out. I know the sheriff's department, all of them, anybody who has anything technology, it's gone up 20-30% per technology in the last year or two. The fees per, software, it's going through the roof, and that's where we're struggling to keep up. I mean, when you see the full budget and see what TJ's costs are going, every time you turn around, it's like, oh, by the way, it went up to $2 a person instead of $1.50. Well, that's a lot when you have 150 people. So
Yeah.
technology is getting better, which you'd think makes you more efficient, which it does, but it doesn't save you anywhere. Same with, the jail. Housing out of county stinks, but to build a $10 million infrastructure, pay $1 million a year, have $700,000 a year to just pay off that loan. Then you have to have staffing. Now you have more inmates. So now you're feeding them. Now you have to have more you get
yeah.
everything. It's not just the building of it. That's where other counties are struggling too, is we built these because we needed it, but now we can't find the staff, or we can't find the contracted service to feed them, or the more inmates you have, the more health insurance you pay. It's a never ending
It is.
expense.
Yeah.
So like the call works upstairs that we just did, the funding, you guys did the funding I think it was 2-3 years ago, Nick, for call works. That's the phone system and 911 type stuff. They're calling that to end of life now in 2029 already. They're calling it. And it's like, so in the future, Motorola is going to have a replacement. And if you look at the cost of what CallWorks was, you might as well increase that almost
The unique
25%, even more.
the uniquely bad thing that a lot of these companies are doing is they know everything's end of life about 7 years. Like that's just how they right, old cell phones. You can't keep putting it on the new technology, the software, whatever. So like with this Motorola contract we're looking at, it's, $600,000 just for the equipment, but then you pay a yearly fee of $50, $60, $70,000 that says in 7 years you get the new equipment, which is great. Now we're into like, cool, we're paying like a loan, right? Every year you're prepaying for your next set of equipment, which keeps you on their network. It's a smart idea, right? As a business idea. The problem with a county budget is those are the projects we like to borrow for because they're outside of our levy limit. They're creating a problem on our operational levy because it's a yearly cost that no longer can be borrowed for, which we have a levy limit. So at the state level, we're spending the same dollar amount, whether it's a borrowed or an operational, but the state says, no more operational. We put a levy cap on it, but all this technology, which is hundreds of thousands, I would say it's 15% of your budget, is now going to this new system that says, oh, it's operational cost, so that you get guaranteed stuff in the future. So we don't know how to, you can't raise your levy to do it, and it's eating up it's making a lot of issues, but it's a positive because then you're always going to be updated. You don't have to find that borrowing every 7 to 10 years that, like TJ's got $1 million borrowing project coming. So.
Any other questions for the sheriff?
Dewey, you gotta do something here. Come on, man. The audience is looking. Look at Marina. She's probably next door wondering. Yeah, I could hear her cackling.
Or they caught a big sleep up there.
Wasn't that up on deep, or where was the Tahi, right?
4.
The rec off, or not rec officer, the humane officer and the Python.
Oh yeah, we got a python. Yeah.
Really?
No
In
big
the
deal.
wild.
Yeah, it wasn't wild. No, it got out. Yeah, they were able to wrangle the snake.
Wow. I hate snakes.
This was small. It would fit in a big tub.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
We got pythons in the county. Oh, boy.
So it just gives you a snapshot of some of the things. If you guys wanted to see anything in particular, as far as operations in the jail, I know, and I think you went over to jail already this year. I think every year you guys should just take a quick look over there and see what it is. Like I said, the jail inspection.
I think we're
did go
supposed
through-
to. Aren't we supposed to do an annual walkthrough at the jail?
Yeah. They did the kitchen inspection upstairs, and then the jail inspection. So everything came out well on the jail inspection.
Good.
But again, we're the smallest jail in the state. So I think we're now the oldest. It's irrelevant the age, but I guess just the number of people being in it.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Is that it?
yeah, unless you guys have anything else.
Nope. Well, thank
Yeah.
you. So then all we got left are the vouchers, and they've gone around. Everybody, you're all done with them, Patty?
I can see that on Facebook.
Put on the screen the Python that they caught.
that's-
That's unique. It's something different.
Can't say that the boys aren't getting bored on the job, can we?
That's just, Okay, so is there a motion on the vouchers?
I motion to accept vouchers as presented.
Is there a second?
I'd second that.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Vouchers are approved. And the date of our next meeting is September 4th for the schedule. So mark your calendars. And unless there's anything else, we are adjourned. Thank you.